So this is the video that you have been requesting. You've heard about pumping your bottom growth after you start testosterone, and you're wondering, does it work? Well, guess what? It does. Very well. Hey, what's up? My name is Kade, and today I'm gonna tell you my top tips on pumping and really what pumping is. Trigger warning. Some of the words that I may be using in this video may be potentially triggering to you, so keep that in mind. In this video, I will be explaining what pumping is and why people do pump, how to pump, all my top tips for pumping, some warnings that come along with pumping, and finally some of my pump recommendations. Ranging from people that are pre-T to those who have been on T for many years, you have the potential to be able to get your T dick to be larger with consistent pumping and daily use. So what is pumping? So pumping is the act of putting a pump on your genitals, more specifically your clit. I'm not gonna say that word for the rest of the video, and I'm going to refer that bottom piece to bottom growth, T-dick, or just dick. I would prefer not to trigger as many people as possible. Basically, you pump to increase size, sensitivity, and firmness. Plus, it can help with your bottom dysphoria. So, how to pump? It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll give you kind of a brief overview. So how to pump? It's super simple. This is the pump that I personally use. At the end of the video, I'll compare the different pumps that I have tried so you can see what would be best for you. But for this pump, all you have to do is put your peen in there, get a little lube, and just squeeze and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until you feel a slight like pulling on your junk, and you can take this off and walk around with it if you want. Just have your dick in there, and just, or if you want, you could just sit back for the next 5 to 30 minutes, depending on how experienced you are with pumping. Simple as that. So pumping tips. When it comes to pumping, you need to use a lot of lube because you want to make sure that with the suction and your junk, like as you're doing it, it doesn't make it as uncomfortable and it reduces friction. When I personally pump, I just make sure to put some lube on my bottom growth and then some lube, let's see, I just get some lube and put it on the interior rim as well as like this actual rim on there. That way, like the whole like sliding process as I'm pumping and it's getting bigger, it's able to have lube to continue to keep going. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how much I am an advocate for lube. So make sure to lube up. Before you start pumping though, make sure to warm up your junk beforehand. So whether you're gonna jump into a hot shower for a few minutes or take a nice hot bath, or even if you get a nice, get a hot towel and put that over your junk for like 5 minutes. One other way you can warm up your junk a little bit is put some lube on your hand and junk and kind of jerk off a little bit, get it warmed up that way, as long as you're getting more blood flow to the area. So if you're new to pumping, you're gonna wanna start out slow. So when you first start out and do it for about a 5-minute increment because your body has to get really used to the pumping. So start out with 5 minutes and slowly go up from there. And it's 5 minutes per session. Then you can move up to 10 minutes and then up to 30 to 45 minutes. From what I've heard online and my personal experience, to be able to get lasting results, you need to be consistent. I personally used to pump at the very beginning twice per day. I pumped a few months before I started testosterone, and I truly do think it was able to start to help with the bottom growth process. And so I did it for about 5 minutes at the beginning of the day, 5 minutes at the end of the day for about a month, and then slowly increased. And nowadays, I either do it before I'm possibly gonna be fooling around with someone, or if I'm just feeling more dysphoric, but I usually tend to do it at least 3 times per week. But I recommend when you're trying to grow and make sure to maintain that size, I would make sure to do it every single day, or at least 5 times per week. Warning, if you have any pain or discomfort, you need to stop pumping right away, because I wouldn't want you to end up getting a tear or a blister on your dick. Plus you can possibly get bruising. It's okay if you start to get a tiny bit slight bruising because you're basically giving a really big hickey to your dick. Just make sure as soon as any pain or discomfort starts, stop it. A little story time. So there has been now 2 times the whole time that I've been pumping that I accidentally left it on for too long. I just forgot about it because it was one of these pumps that you can like remove and walk around with, and both of the times I just left it on too long and I ended up getting a blister on my dick, and I was like not able to really touch it or jerk off or anything without pain for like weeks. So make sure to like take it off as soon as you start to feel any pain or discomfort, and limit yourself, even if you are an experienced pumper, like the most 45 minutes, at least per session. Now here are my pump recommendations. The most common pump that I've heard other trans guys talk about is this pump right here. It's a 3-pack of 3 different cylinders as well as the actual pump that comes with it. And since it does have the 3 different sizes, you are able to like slowly go up in size. I actually used this one for the first 1.5 years of my transition. So if you're pre-T or you just started T, this is probably the one that I recommend the most, because you can also like detach it and still like walk around with it if you want. There's 2 reasons why I actually do not have this one anymore. Number 1, I actually lost it in my most recent move, so that sucks. But another reason is the 2 times that I actually have bought this pump, so the actual pump part is made out of plastic, unlike this other one that I have. And with time, it actually did break off. I don't know if I just dropped it too hard or something like that. So of course, make sure to take care of your products. But I did notice that that one is not like as durable as I would hope. Now, if you're looking for more of an affordable pump that works pretty well, check out New York Toy Collective's pump, and it's actually specifically made for trans masc individuals. Like, they even have the top surgery scars, so that's super cool. If you want to check out my full review, I'm gonna put it in the description as well as like up above. So this is a little less than $30 with my discount code. You can also get that last pump that I talked about on that same website, earlytobed.com. And just keep in mind that it is an affiliate code, so if you use the code, it will also help me out as well. I really like this pump though, because it is a really good size and the cylinder is really high quality, especially for the price. Like, well, there's a little still water in there, sorry about that, I cleaned it before the review, but the actual cylinder itself is really high quality, especially for the pricing. Plus I like that with this one you can like just squeeze it with one hand. The only downside to this is you're not able to just take it off and walk around with it because it would lose its suction. Now, the last pump that I'm gonna talk about is honestly my go-to pump, and it's for a few different reasons. Another reason why I slowly stopped using that first pump that I talked about is even with the largest cylinder, I was getting kind of big for it, and I'm not trying to be like bragging, but that's just the reality of my experience. Even with pumping and consistent use, like my junk was basically just filling it out super easily. So if you are on the larger side, I highly recommend you check out this pump that I'm about to talk about. So this is the FTM cylinder I got from LA Pump, and it is a lot more on the pricey side, but it is still my go-to pump. Like, just for the attachment and the cylinder itself without the pump, it was over $100. I will make sure to link this in the description if it is something that you're like,
yeah, this sounds like it'd be best for me as well.
As I was saying before, the other one was getting kind of tight for me, even comparing it to the New York Toy Collective pump. It is similar in size around, so for girth it was nice for me, and around it is like size-wise, both of these are bigger than the largest cylinder for the first pump that I talked about. So if you are girthier, get one of these 2 pumps. But when it comes to length, as you can see, this one has a lot more length compared to this one. So I just like it because I am on the larger side. Plus, I really do like to do other stuff as I am pumping, like multitasking. So usually I'll just pump like all the way that I can. And with this one, since it is detachable, basically what you do is have it like this, put some lube on your junk and around the inside, and pump, pump, pump. Let's just, oh. Just made that sound because I just had watched this as well. But pump, pump, pump. And as soon as your junk is all pumped up, you just click this. And this is the same method that you use with the first pump that I talked about as well. You just detach it like this, and you're able to walk around the house. Just as your junk is pumping and filling up, just make sure once again to keep an eye on it, because you wouldn't want to end up like accidentally busting a capillary and getting a freaking blister like I did. So this one is closer to 3 inches and this one is 5 inches, and they're about the same around. So I would honestly make sure to measure your junk before you decide to actually buy anything, to see which one would be best for you. Because even the first pump that I talked about, I really liked it for a long time. And if you are on the smaller side, I encourage you get that one. But honestly, everybody's bodies are made differently. If you are on the larger side though, I just recommend you just go for it, spend the money, it's worth it. Even though it was a very brief description on why I like this cylinder the most, let me know in the comments below if you want to have a full review on this cylinder, because I really like it. I just want to make sure people are actually wanting to see that. If you have any other tips or comments that you want to share with other people, make sure to leave them below. Not a lot of people talk about pumping and the best way to really maximize it. So I feel like if we get more of a discussion going, it can be helpful for many other people, because pumping has really helped my bottom dysphoria substantially. Your dick is gonna suck in the best way possible. If you still wanna get a pump on and you don't wanna go to the gym, this is a great way to do it. Thanks for watching, bye.